Yes, hanging out in San Francisco this morning. And you know what? I'm sure you've heard of Airbnb before. Maybe you've used the service before. But today we're getting kind of a behind the scenes. We're at Airbnb headquarters here in San Francisco. And take a look behind me. All of these rooms that you see, and actually it wraps all the way around the building, this is all Airbnb. It's huge, and it's a far cry from where Airbnb started 8 years ago. And to tell us a little bit about the origins of this company, Aaron Zifkin with Airbnb Canada. This is a far cry from where it started.
That's for sure. So Airbnb started in 2007 when our founders, Brian, Joe, and Nate, needed to make a little extra money to make rent. And then they created a website, and within a matter of days, they had their first 3 guests on Airbnb. And now we're actually we're in 34,000 cities around the world and 191 countries, including Cuba, which we just entered a few months ago.
Okay, so I have to ask the name, Airbnb. I get the B&B, bed and breakfast. Why Airbnb? Is it because it's online, it's in the cloud?
Actually, totally opposite. When they started Airbnb, the name was actually Air Bed and Breakfast because Brian, Joe, and Nate put down 3 air beds on their floors, and that's where the first guest stayed.
Wow, that's incredible how far it's come over the years.
Yeah, it's an amazing, and really the growth of Airbnb has been because people are having these incredible local and authentic travel experiences like our first guest had, and now we've actually had over 50 million guests stay on Airbnb all over the world.
So on average, how many people are using Airbnb every day?
Well, I'll tell you a really cool statistic. It took us 4 years to get to 1 million guests, and on August 8th this year, we had almost 1 million guests on a single night.
So tons of different countries around the world, and it's not only just homes.
That's right. So people are looking for unique experiences when they stay on Airbnb. They want that truly local and authentic experience. And a lot of times people are staying in castles, they're staying in yurts and igloos and even tree houses. So if you want a really unique travel experience, Airbnb is a great way to see the world.
I don't even know what a yurt is.
Yeah. Well, it's a really unique spot that people create a lot of time in their backyard.
And I've got to say, I had an interesting experience last night. I used Airbnb for the first time, and it was quite the experience. I did not stay in a yurt. I stayed in a home. But it's interesting because it's kind of a personalized experience. It's not just, check into a hotel and that's it. You have a host.
That's right. And when you think about your best travel experiences that you've ever had, it's always about those coffee shops and restaurants that you would never be able to find on your own as a regular tourist. And that's what our host community is all about. We get these great access points to all these different restaurants and different type of activities in the city when you stay on Airbnb.
Well, Jill, I'm going to be telling you a little bit about my experience last night, but later on this morning we're going to take a tour of headquarters because there's some fascinating things here. So stick around. We'll give you a little tour of Airbnb here in San Francisco.
I'm with you, Mike. I would much prefer to stay in a castle over a yurt. That's just my preference. How about you, Dave?
You probably think that you have a cool workspace in Calgary, but you know what? Chances are it doesn't compare to Airbnb headquarters here in San Francisco. Take a look at this over here. Maybe you grab a coffee when you go into work. Well, in one of the snack areas here in Airbnb, they have cold brew coffee on tap, lavender lemonade, unsweetened green tea, original oak kombucha, ginger fire kombucha. I'm grabbing a glass to go with me here. And look at this. Everything from gluten-free crackers to Sunny Bears, gummy bears. If I had an extra hand, I'd be taking a handful with me as well. I'm kind of giving you a little tour here of Airbnb in San Francisco. Now, take a look at this picture right here. Take a look at this. Now take a look back over into the snack area. If it looks similar, it should, because the snack areas here are designed after actual listings around the world. So this is from Reykjavik in Iceland, and I'm going to do a little walking tour. I'm going to kind of push cameraman Nick back, and you can follow me through here. This is kind of the workspace where a lot of the engineers sit. So over on the left here, you'll see all these umbrellas above the monitors. This is because there's actually sunlights here, and the sun beams down on them, so they can't get the glare on the screens. There's also a bunch of information, real-time info coming down on a number of listings and things like that. We can't show you that over there. Look at this. The desks here, they all have, I'm not kidding about this, Dom Perignon on them and bottles of wine. Rumor is they like to have a good time here, and there's happy hour here every day, which is pretty cool. Cheers to that. But follow me over here, because I'm going to meet Aaron Zifkin over here in a room that's actually quite significant and special. So follow me into this room here. So Aaron, this is, you say this is a boardroom. It does not look like any boardroom I've ever been in before.
No, this is a very special room at Airbnb. This is actually an exact replica of the first Airbnb listing in the world. This is Brian and Joe's apartment.
Now, all the boardrooms here are actually labeled, or I guess monitored, or what do you call it, replicas of listings around the world.
That's right. We now have over 1.5 million listings all over the world. And people are putting their homes up, their entire places, maybe it's a room, but really what they're trying to do is monetize their most expensive asset, which is the #1 reason why people come to Airbnb. It's to become a micro-entrepreneur and earn a couple of extra dollars on their most expensive asset. But the reason why they stay is they meet some great people from all over the world and have some incredible experiences.
One thing I like about this is these, just take a look over here. Everything down, these are the books from their house, Guitar Hero from PlayStation 2. This is actual stuff from their apartment that they brought in here. Everything, all the boardrooms are exact replicas. And Nick, follow me over here because I want to quickly show you guys just an example. This is an actual Bayern. This is a listing in Amsterdam. This is another boardroom here. And there is one from Vancouver that's here. So we're going to see if we can find that later on this morning. But if you're watching at home, all the BT viewers, Airbnb wants to give one of our lucky BT viewers a $250 gift certificate, a credit to stay in an Airbnb listing. All you have to do is go to contests under daily prizing and put Airbnb in the title and send in that email and that entry, and you could win $250 courtesy of Airbnb. Back to you guys in the studio. You know what, Jill? This place is so big, I had to find a vehicle to help me get around some of the space. Take a look what I'm riding here. This is the ice cream bike, and it's used to deliver, well, what else, but ice cream to all the staff here. Now, over here, these are all meeting areas. They get to meet in tents. So let's turn a corner here. This thing handles like a dream, like an ice cream dream. Here we go. And then I pull up to an Airstream trailer. Yes, an Airstream trailer in the office space. Aaron joining me once again, country manager for Airbnb for Canada. Why is there an Airstream trailer in the middle of the office?
This is actually my favorite listing that's in the office. This is in Australia, but all of our office spaces here are exact replicas of listings from around the world. And our vision is that we want everybody who's working in Airbnb to really feel like they're in somebody's home.
And you do, because I don't know if cameraman Nick can get a closer shot. This is a legitimate trailer right here. Now, trailers, houses, we were talking earlier, but for those who might have missed it, there's a lot of different types of listing on Airbnb.
Yeah, that's right. So, I mean, first of all, you have 2 options or 3 options. You can actually get an entire home where nobody is there, or you can rent a room in somebody's home anywhere in the world, anywhere of 34,000 cities. But you also have the choice between apartments, homes, castles, boats, yurts, igloos, you name it.
Are you serious? Igloos?
We have 700 igloos on the platform, 4,000 castles, 9,000 boats, you name it. Whatever type of experience you're looking for, you can find it on Airbnb at all price ranges all over the world.
That's pretty cool. So what makes a good Airbnb host? If you want to open up your home, what kind of things do you have to think about?
Really, it's for anybody that wants to make a couple of extra dollars and meet some great people. But our experience with Airbnb is about having that truly authentic and local feel to the city, being able to see the eyes of through the eyes of your host. And so people say on Airbnb, they want their host to be able to show them the best restaurants and the best coffee shops and the greatest activities that they can do in the city.
So you got to know a little bit about your city. Now, what about guest-wise? What should you think about going into the Airbnb experience?
Well, the nice thing about Airbnb is that our listings are all over these cities, and so you can pick your location with pinpoint accuracy anywhere in the city. A lot of the time, too, you think about families that want to have an extra room instead of getting 2 normal hotel rooms, maybe have a washer and dryer and a kitchen. So it all depends on the type of experience that you're after and the price point that you're looking for.
Very cool. Well, you know what? We are going to meet one of the Airbnb's hosts. We're actually going to pick up our stakes here. Maybe we'll take the Airstream. We're going to travel in San Francisco. Next time we see you, we're going to be at an Airbnb host's place and talk to a little bit to her about why she decided to host Airbnb guests. Jill?
All right, heading on over to San Francisco, where Mike Yawney is checking out an Airbnb property. Mike?
Made my way down from downtown San Francisco up to a neighborhood called Potrero Hill. I think I said that right. This is an Airbnb listing. We're going to introduce you to the host of this listing in a couple of moments. But first, I want to show you a picture because I stayed in an Airbnb for the very first time last night. So I have a photo to show you. And this is of myself and Emily. Emily hosted me, and it was about 9 blocks from here. So still in Potrero Hill. Beautiful listing. And it was fun because, you know, when I showed up, she was waiting outside for me. She introduced me, gave a tour of the home, kind of explained a few things, and of course saw that beautiful view. I've never had a view of San Francisco, by the way, in any hotel I've ever stayed at until I took Airbnb to bring a view like that. So incredible. But now we're in another place, and I was actually here last night. Kepa, another Airbnb host, you actually hosted a garden party for us last night, which is, I mean, I didn't know you can have backyards in San Francisco. I'll get cameraman Nick just to pan around. This is beautiful.
Thank you so much. It's been a lot of fun hosting so many guests. I started 5 years ago with 1 room, and then I added a room a year for 4 years, so I have 4 rooms now. And I've hosted probably, I think my reviews, I have about 1,500 reviews, so a couple thousand guests, and nothing's been stolen. One cheap wine glass got broken. It's just been a phenomenal experience.
I have to ask, because it seems like you kind of put yourself out there when you are a host. You're opening up your house. Why did you get into it?
I did it initially out of financial stress. We had the recession here. I was in a couple car accidents. I wasn't working. I'm a self-employed architect, and I had an extra bedroom. I said, let me try this thing. It was immediately fun, immediately successful, and now I wouldn't never stop doing it.
You were an early adopter. Back then, there was not many people on Airbnb.
No, my friends, my family thought I was crazy. My clients thought I was crazy. But, you know, as I started to meet my guests, they'd be here, as you were last night for dinner. And as you saw last night, some of the guests joined us. It's a wonderful experience. It just feels really normal and natural.
So just to put it into perspective last night, so the garden party, you had people staying in your home.
Right.
So we had a couple from Vancouver. We had a couple from Australia. So it was nice to sit down with them and not only chat with you, but to chat with people from around the world. And I know the couple from Vancouver, this is the first time in San Francisco, and they said, we just wanted to try Airbnb for the first time, and they fell in love with it.
Well, you know what's nice, too, for them and for my community is that right now, in fact, when you guys arrived, we said goodbye to couple of the guests are going up the hill to have breakfast. So their money stays in my little neighborhood. We never had tourist dollars before. So that's a wonderful kind of benefit that benefits the entire community, not just the host.
Well, that's just it. When you stay in a hotel, you are downtown. I've been here. I can't even count how many times I've been here, but I've never seen how people live.
Exactly. And I think that that's what floors people when they first come is, and they'll say this worldwide, how friendly everybody is. And they just fit right in. They go up there, they're sitting next to people that live here, and they start to get some inside information as to where to hang out and how to get there, that kind of thing.
There you go.
It's a great experience.
So now if you want to try it for yourself, Airbnb is giving us a $250 gift card for a lucky BT viewer. All you have to do is go to breakfasttelevision.ca, head over to contests and daily prizing, and that is how you enter. And you can stay in a beautiful place just like Keppa's here in San Francisco, or maybe you want to go elsewhere. Airbnbs all around the world. We've had a lot of fun touring through the headquarters and, of course, Keppa's Yard here. And my host, Emily, last night, it's been an incredible experience here with Airbnb in San Francisco. Jill.
Excellent. Enjoy the day in San Francisco, and Mike will be traveling back home tomorrow where he's checking out a vinyl pressing plant right here at home. We'll tee up what's next in studio tomorrow at 8:54. You're watching Breakfast Television on City.
Give it to you how you want it, then she's in the morning.